Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Olson from the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I've been working with Julia for almost 100 episodes now, and she has really helped me grow my podcast from basically just my parents, my husband and kids, and my sister as listeners to over 17,000 downloads. I mean, the amount that she expanded my audience went way beyond my expectations. She really blew my mind. I have quadrupled the number of downloads over the past 12 months. Julia has been so much more than just my podcast teacher. She has been like a partner to me, really taking an interest in my program and helping me more than I ever could have asked for. I highly recommend Julia.
How amazing is that? I am so grateful that Dr. Lisa shared her experience. And if her story resonated with you and you're thinking, wait, I want results like that too, that is exactly what we're doing inside the Podcast Growth Collective. It's the place for online business owners who want to turn podcasting into a powerful growth tool without the burnout and without guessing what to fix. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and finally start seeing results from your podcast, I would love to support you. Head to thepodcastteacher.com/collective to learn more and to join us. And now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome back. This is your podcast teacher, Julia Levine, and you're listening to Podcasting for Solopreneurs, the show that helps online business owners grow their podcast to get more listeners, leads, and sales. Today, we're talking about how to turn your podcast into a lead-generating machine. If you are showing up week after week, delivering amazing content, but you're not seeing new leads, new clients, sales coming from your podcast, you are not alone. This is a common problem, but that means that it's time to get strategic because your podcast absolutely can grow your list and fill your offers, but only if it is strategically set up to do that. So, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through a 3-part framework that will help you shift from just simply creating content to strategically creating content that actually moves people forward in your business. The thing is that podcasting takes time and energy. And while it's an amazing visibility tool, that's not where it ends. Your podcast should also be a growth tool for your business. It should be bringing in the right people, it should be nurturing them, and it should be getting them one step closer to working with you, buying from you. But for so many podcasters, this is not happening. And you're putting out valuable episodes, people are listening, but they're not taking action. They're not joining your email list. They're not checking out your offer. They're not becoming clients. And so if this sounds familiar, it usually means that your podcast is missing one or more of these critical things. The first is strategic content that speaks to a problem. Every single episode that you create should be tied to a problem or a desire that your ideal listener is actively trying to solve the problem or move towards that desire. Now, this doesn't need to be super complicated. It just needs to be strategic and intentional. So I want you to think about what your ideal listener, your ideal client is searching for right now. What are they Googling? So what are they stuck on? What is keeping them from getting the results that they want? What are they trying to achieve? Your episode should offer a small solution to this problem or a step towards that desire, and then set up a bigger next step. That next step might be your lead magnet, your freebie, taking a quiz. Sometimes it's even your paid offer. The episode's job is to warm them up and help them understand why they need that next piece. So, to take you behind the scenes of this episode, I know that as a podcaster, you are likely to have the problem of not getting leads from your podcast. You want leads. You want your podcast to be an integral part of your business strategy. So I am strategically creating this episode around that problem. I'm offering you a small solution of 3 tangible things to help you move the needle forward, to help you solve that problem to a degree. And I'm also setting up the bigger next step of joining the Podcast Growth Collective, because that's where we go deeper into this. That's where you are really going to get into the nitty-gritty of solving this problem and moving towards that desire. So if you are making episodes that are helpful, valuable information in a general sense, but they don't connect back exactly to what you do or how you help, those episodes are not going to move listeners into your funnel. All right, so the second thing that you need is a clear CTA, a call to action, in every episode. So you need to tell people what to do next. This is a mistake I see all the time. I've talked about it before. I see podcasters that will create an amazing episode and then they'll close it out with something like, "Thanks for listening. See you next week." And that is a missed opportunity in 99% of the cases. Sometimes you don't have something set up yet. Maybe you're early in your podcasting journey. No worries. But make sure that every single episode has a clear and specific call to action as soon as you have something to tell them to do. So this could be something like, grab my freebie, take my quiz, get on the waitlist for my program, check out my course, schedule a discovery call with me. That one's a really good call to action if you don't have a lot of things up and running in your business yet. You don't have email sequences, you don't have your course created. A discovery call is pretty much an always relevant call to action that you can give. So those are just some examples. Of course, there are other things that you could say to do. But in order to generate leads, I urge you to avoid an overly general CTA like follow me on Instagram, because that's not really going to do a whole lot for you. Yeah, if they connect with you on Instagram or another platform, yes, it's a way of continuing to connect with them, but it's much better to give them a more specific call to action. They're more likely to take action on something that is specific and has a clear benefit to them. Also, do not wait until the end of your episode to give a CTA. I want you to weave it into the episode wherever it fits naturally, and then repeat it in your conclusion or in your outro. I also recommend giving the same consistent CTA for a minimum of 4 weeks in a row. People need to hear about your offers, even if it's a free offer. They need to hear about it more than once in order for it to sink in order for it to click. In case it's not obvious, let me just clarify here that I am asking you to give one and only one CTA. Remember that most people are multitasking when listening to a podcast episode, and if you ask them to do multiple things, they are not likely to do any of them. So make it a single valuable CTA and repeat it. I'll practice what I preach here and say that if you want support with building a podcast that actually supports your business goals, that is exactly what we do inside of the Podcast Growth Collective. You can learn more at thepodcastteacher.com/collective. I would love to help you turn your podcast into a powerful growth tool for your business. All right. And the third thing that you need to generate leads from your podcast is strong communication. So once someone joins your list, are they continuing to hear from you? Are you continuing to build that relationship? Because if you are not fostering that relationship, they're not really a quality lead. They're not likely to move forward. If you are driving traffic to a freebie from your podcast, you need to think about what happens immediately after that. So, of course, hopefully you have the delivery of the lead magnet, the freebie that they opted into. But then is there a nurture sequence? Are you continuing to let them know, like, and trust you? Are you connecting the dots between what they just listened to on the podcast, what they opted into for the freebie, and then how you can help them? Are you strategically leading them toward your paid offer, whatever that is? If it's coaching, if it's a course, whatever it is, are you being strategic in leading people towards that once they opt into something and they're on your email list? Podcasting is not just about growing your audience. It's about making sure your content and your email list and your offer are all working together, because none of this happens in isolation. And when your podcast is fully integrated into your business as a whole, it becomes a true lead generating machine that works for you while you sleep. If you have been sitting here listening to this episode and you've been thinking, okay, I need to work on this, no shame, I have been there. For the first 25-ish episodes, my podcast did not bring me a single lead. And I have learned from my mistakes, and now you can too. It's never too late. If you're listening to this episode at the time of release, it is coming out at the very beginning of the month. And that's because I am giving you 3 simple steps that you can take throughout the rest of this month in order to start generating leads from your podcast. So the first thing I want you to do is choose one single meaningful CTA to focus on. Maybe it's opting into a freebie, maybe it's to schedule a discovery call with you, or maybe it's something else, but you're going to choose what that is. The second step is that you are going to commit to giving that single consistent CTA for at least the next 4 episodes. And then you're going to mention that CTA twice in each episode. So remember that not everyone sticks around until the end of the episode. So make sure to mention it somewhere in the body of the episode, and then you can repeat it at the end as well. Remember to create strategic content, give a simple CTA, and continue with strong communication after the person takes their initial action. Inside the Podcast Growth Collective, there is an entire module focused on your content strategy, as well as another entire module that goes deeper on generating leads and making sales from your podcast. Just head to thepodcastteacher.com/collective to sign up. Until next time, happy podcasting.